Hi everyone! So today I wanted to make a tutorial for you guys showing how I make earrings for my dolls. But basically I'm going to be showing you how I make earrings from scratch for my dolls, whether they're Bratz, they're Barbie, or they're American Girl. And it's more or less the same concept with the exception of how the earrings actually go into the ears. So a little backstory on how I got into making doll jewelry. When I first got back into collecting dolls in 2011, I got really into buying secondhand Bratz. I was getting all of these secondhand Bratz who had empty ear holes, and it really bothered me. It's just like one of those things, seeing dolls with ear holes but no earrings. It's something that kind of gets under my skin, and so I started around that Christmas buying cheap holiday packs of earrings, and I would just stick them in the doll's ears. And the problem with that was, especially with the dangly sorts of earrings, the way that the earring goes into the ear was far too big, so it would look really abnormal and awkward in the ear. So I decided one day, I can make doll stands, why can't I make doll earrings? So I looked up 1 or 2 videos online for just like basic jewelry making. I learned like the supplies you need and the basic gist of how everything went together. And then I went to Walmart a few days later and bought my first supplies, and from there I made my first pairs of earrings. And then later that summer my aunt actually sat me down and she showed me how to size them for dolls. Even though she doesn't collect dolls, she knows so much about making jewelry that she showed me all of her tricks. And after I learned from her and I got more comfortable making jewelry, it just hit me, the jewelry bug, and I went through all my doll containers and made earrings for everybody, and ever since then I'm just obsessed with making jewelry. And the wonderful thing about making your own earrings for any kind of doll is that you can make it to your personal taste. It's a great way to accessorize your doll and give them a personal flair without like damaging your doll or permanently changing your doll. It makes even the cheapest or schlubbiest dolls look so much nicer, and it's just a great creative outlet. And you really don't need a lot of fancy supplies. You don't need to spend a ton of money. There are all kinds of jewelry making supplies everywhere. You just need to get creative. But I've been doing this for 4 years, but I started out with a really small box of jewelry stuff. If you want to see most of everything I have, I do have a collection video of all my jewelry supplies in my collections and displays playlist. You can check that out if you want to have an idea of what kinds of things to buy. But a lot of my stuff is just repurposed. I've gotten beads from really weird things like slippers or shirts or air fresheners. You don't have to think conventional, and that's what's so great. And you don't need suitcases and suitcases of supplies like what my aunt has. So I'm going to show you the first pair of earrings that I made. So this is my beloved Independence Chloe. She's my first one. I have another one. You can see that they're pretty simple. I actually based this idea off of some of the holiday earrings I had gotten. And they're really not sized right. Like, you can tell that all of the findings aren't like super even, so they kind of dangle at different lengths. But that's what it's all about. Starting and not being so great and building upon your skills. And I do have pictures of just about all of the earrings that I have made in my earrings album on Flickr if you're interested in seeing those to get some ideas, or just if you're curious. So I'm going to take you through a step-by-step process of the most basic earrings that you can make, and from there you guys can use your imaginations. And if there's any sorts of earrings that you specifically want to know how to make, there's lots and lots of tutorials here on YouTube or around the internet. You can always just modify them for dolls. So I'm going to show you the supplies, explain a bit about them, and I'm also going to insert pictures as I go along. And I do have a written out tutorial for this on my Flickr if you want to check it out. So let's go. These are the most basic of jewelry supplies that you will need. This is a set of 3 that I got at Walmart back when I started making jewelry. It was $12. So you have pliers, needle nose pliers, and wire cutters. So these are for like opening up jump rings, making loops, stuff like that. And this is for obviously trimming down the wire. And then over here I have an assortment of beads. And then there's head pins, which are really hard to see because my camera's not great at focusing, which have little heads at the bottom of them to hold the beads on. eye pins, which have little eyelets at the top here, so like little loops, and that's how you connect things. And then jump rings of different sizes. So this tiniest size here is what I use to make American Girl earrings. And you won't necessarily need all of these supplies for every pair of earrings you make. It really depends on the style. You can also use things like chain and all kinds of different supplies. These are just the basics to get you started. It also helps if you have like container lids here to put the beads in so that they don't roll around all over the place. And as you can see here, I have some little white beads in here, and my aunt showed me this trick. Basically, when I'm done, I can just pour these back into that little container. So these are the dolls I'm going to be making earrings for. So we have Elizabeth, and then I have these ladies here and Chloe, who are new. So for Elizabeth's earrings, I already have my little charms picked out here to match the purple color of Felicity's travel gown. So I'm not going to be needing these eye pins. Basically, when you pick out your beads, you're just going to stack them on these head pins. Okay, so I'm going to take my head pin, and I already have kind of an idea of how I want this arrangement to go. So once you've decided on how you want your beads to be laid out, you're going to have basically your two head pins with beads that could very easily fall off. So what you're going to do is you're going to basically make little loops at the bottom. So you're going to want to leave about a 1/4 inch of wire from where the stack of the beads ends. And then you're going to want to take your pliers and you're going to want to bend the wire straight out, so at like a 90-degree angle. And if you've cut off a lot of wire, I recommend saving it. So once you've bent the wire at a 90-degree angle, this is where you're going to use your needle nose pliers to make the loop. So you're going to get as close to the edge of the wire as you can. This is very important. And then you're going to wrap it around in a turning motion around this part of the pliers. So basically, depending on where you wrap, so closer to the top here or down below, is going to determine the size of your loop. And I'm going to repeat the same thing on this side. So I'm going to go all the way to the end of the piece of wire with my pliers, and then I'm going to turn it and wrap it into a nice little loop. So that's the basic part of how you make the actual strands of charms. So it's really, really simple. And obviously, if you wanted to hang a charm, you could use jump rings, and you could use these eye pins and all sorts of different techniques to decorate, but this is just for the basics. So for an American Girl, to attach them to the ears, you're gonna need an authentic American Girl ear post. So if you had your dolls pierced at the store, you'll already have these, or if they're dolls like Elizabeth and Ivy, they'll have come with these, or you can buy them on sale on the American Girl website or in the store. Basically, they're just little studs. So this is the way to do it if you want to make it just like the American Girl earrings. So there's two different ways you can attach these. So one is, sometimes if your little loop at the top here is big enough, you will be able to slide the pin right through. As you can see, mine's a little bit too small. I won't be able to do that. But basically, if it was, you could slide this through and hang it from her ear just like that. But the other way is that you pick little jump rings. So these are the smallest size jump ring. And you're going to open these up. The best way to open a jump ring isn't to pull it apart like this. It's kind of turn it to the side, because that way it'll close properly. So as you can see, I just turned it to the side. And then I'm going to link it through my little loop here. And then I'm going to close it by twisting it the opposite way so it closes. And there you have it. And then you basically will just slide the post through. And it's important to have a small jump ring because if the jump ring is too large, this will slide right through it and it won't stay on the doll's ears. Say you have like several of these hanging off of one jump ring. It might get too bulky for the little stud to fit right through. That's okay. You can just attach another little jump ring above that and use that one to connect, if that makes sense. I'm going to make some earrings for my fashion dolls and I'll be back to show you how that works. Okay, so to attach them to a fashion doll is a little bit different. So as you can see here, I have my little decorative strands and 2 eye pins. You can either use store-bought eye pins or you can make your own by making little loops on scrap wire. That's what these are. What you're going to do is you'll probably want to take a pretty good look at your doll. So these are for Tropical Splash Barbie. And you'll see here that she has really big holes left over from her earrings being ripped out, and this is actually a piece of her factory earring that broke off. Taking that into consideration, basically you could just attach this to the eye right here and stick it in the ear, but on most dolls that's just going to fall right out and that's going to be really annoying. So the idea is to just bend the wire into a little zigzag shape. So the bigger the hole on the doll's head, the larger the zigzag is going to be. And I recommend doing this after a boil wash if you're going to boil wash your doll, because the hot water will shrink up the ear holes a lot, even on newer dolls. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to take my needle nose pliers and I'm literally going to make zigzags. So down, up, down. And then I'm going to do it to this one as well. Down, up, down. And then I'm going to open up the eye. So I'm going to twist out again, not pulling like front to back, but pushing to the side. I'm going to loop it on, and then I'm going to twist it back closed. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. And there you have it. And then when you go to put these in the doll, you may realize that the zigzags are too large, so they have trouble going into the doll's ears. So you can always just bend them a little flatter, or you might realize that they slide out, so you can just make the bends a bit more sharp. So in order to put them in Barbie's ears now, I'm just going to work it in. So like so. And then if you have a piece of factory earring that's broken, just get a safety pin and push it in like that. And then you just stick it in, and you can see that this isn't zigzagged enough. So I'm going to zigzag this more into deeper zigzags. And there you have it. Okay, so these are all the girls with their finished earrings. I'm going to insert pictures too. So we have Peaches and Cream Barbie, Elizabeth, Fashion Photo Barbie, Photo Booth Chloe, Crystal Barbie, Tropical Splash Barbie, Blue Hair Mermaid Teresa, hers are pretty detailed. Fashion Jeans Barbie, and last but not least, Pearl Beach Teresa. So I hope that video helped you guys out. I'm sorry if the up-close shots weren't the best. My camera does not focus well on really small up-close objects. But I do have pictures on my Flickr if you would like to see the tutorial. I'll link it directly below, as well as my earrings album on my Flickr, so maybe you can get some ideas on what sorts of things to make. It also helps to look at jewelry you already have or at the store and see how it's all put together. That's where I get a lot of ideas. Of course, you can always look here on YouTube, like I said before, for tutorials on specific types of earrings, and you can make them as gaudy as you'd like, as simple as you'd like. It really depends on your taste and what you're looking for. So until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life.